the role of love in the human condition, Ben Shapiro?
Man, don't get asked for love too much. In fact, I was.
You don't get that question on college campus?
No, I typically don't, actually. In fact, we were at an event recently, as a Daily Wire event, and in the middle of this event, it was a meet and greet with some of the audience. And in the middle of this event, this guy walks by with this girl. They're talking, and they're talking to me, and their time kind of runs. The security's moving them. And he says, no, wait, hold on a minute. And he gets down on one knee, and he proposes to the girl in front of me. And I said to him, this is the weirdest proposal in human history. What is happening right now? Like, I was your choice of Cupid here? Like, so, well, we actually, like, got together because we listened to your show. And I said, I can perform it like a Jewish marriage right now. We're going to need like a glass. We're going to need some wine. It's going to get weird real fast.
Yeah.
But so Love Doctor, I'm typically not asked too much about. The role of love is important in binding together human beings who ought to be bound together. And the role of respect is even more important in binding together broader groups of people. I think one of the mistakes that we make in politics is trying to substitute love for respect or respect for love. And I think that's a big mistake. So I do not bear tremendous love in the same sense that I do for my family for random strangers. I don't. I love my family. I love my kids. Anybody who tells you they love your kid as much as you love your kid is lying to you. It's not true. I love my community more than I love other communities. I love my state more than I love other states. I love my country more than I love other countries, right? Like that's all normal and that's all good. The problem of empathy can be when that becomes so tight-knit that you're not outward looking, that you don't actually have respect for other people. So in the local level, you need love in order to protect you and shield you and give you the strength to go forward. And then beyond that, you need a lot of respect for people who are not in the circle of love. And I think trying to extend love to people who either are not going to love you back or are going to slap you in the face for it, or who you're just not that close to, it runs the risk of being ersatz and fake, or it can actually be counterproductive in some senses.
Well, there's some sense in which you could have love for other human beings just based on the humanity that connects everybody, right? So you love this whole project that we're a part of. And actually, sort of another thing we disagree on, so loving a stranger, like having that basic empathy and compassion towards a stranger, even if it can hurt you, I think is ultimately that to me is what it means to be a good man, to live a good life, is to have that compassion towards strangers. Because to me, it's easy and natural and obvious to love people close to you, but to step outside yourself and to love others, I think that's the fabric of a good society. You don't think there's value to that?
I think there can be, but I think we're also discussing love almost in two different senses. Meaning that when I talk about love, what I think of immediately is the love I bear for my wife and kids, or my parents, or my siblings.
What about friendship?
Or the love of my close friends.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think that it's that using that same term to describe how I feel about strangers, I think would just be inaccurate. And so that's why I'm suggesting that respect might be a more solid and realistic foundation for the way that we treat people far away from us, or people who are strangers. Respect for their dignity, respect for their priorities, respect for their role in life. It might be too much of an ask, in other words. There might be the rare human being who's capable of literally loving a homeless man on the street the way that he loves his own family. But if you respect the homeless man on the street the way that you respect your own family, because everyone deserves that respect, I think that you get to the same end without forcing people into a position of unrealistically expecting themselves to feel a thing they don't feel. One of the big questions in religion that comes up is God makes certain requests that you feel certain ways, right? You're supposed to be bisimcha, you're supposed to be happy about certain things, or you're supposed to love thy neighbor as thyself, right? You'll notice that in that statement, it's thy neighbor, right? It's not just like generally anyone. It's love thy neighbor as thyself. In any case,
I think that extends to anyone that follows you on Twitter. Thy neighbor, because God anticipated the social network aspect that is not constrained by geography.
I'm going to differ with you on the interpretation on that. But in any case, right. the sort of the kind of extension of love outwards might be too big an ask. So maybe we can start with respect, and then hopefully out of that respect can grow something more if people earn their way in. Because I think that one of the big problems when we were talking about universalism is when people say, like, I'm a world citizen. I love people of the other country as much as I love myself, or as much as I love my country, it tends to actually lead to an almost crammed down utopianism that I think can be kind of difficult, because with love comes a certain expectation of solidarity. And I think, right, I mean, when you love your family, you love your wife, like there's a certain level of solidarity that is required inside the home in order to preserve the most loving kind of home. And so if you love everybody, then that sort of implies a certain level of solidarity that may not exist. So maybe the idea is, for me, start with respect, and then maybe as people respect each other more, then love is an outgrowth of that, as opposed to starting with love and then hoping that respect develops.
Yeah, there's a danger that that word becomes empty, and instead is used for dogmatic kind of utopianism.
I mean, this is the way that, for example, religious theocracies very often work. We love you so much we have to convert you.
So let's start with respect. What I would love to see after our conversation today is to see a Ben Shapiro that continues the growth on Twitter of being even more respectful than you've already been, and maybe one day converting that into love on Twitter. That would, if I could see that in this world, that would make me die a happy man.
Wow, that's
a little bit
if I
more
can make that happen for you.
Love in the world for me, as a gift for me.
I'll try to make that happen. I do have one question. I'm going to need you to tell me, which jokes are okay? Are jokes still okay?
So yeah, can I just run your Twitter from now on? You just send it to me.
100%. I will pre-screen you the jokes, and you can tell me if this is a loving joke or if this is a hate-filled,
obnoxious joke. People will be very
joke.
surprised by all the heart emojis that start popping up on your Twitter. But thank you.